Hello and welcome to another Lumbridge Night video for free-to-play OSRS. In this video, I'm going to be setting out a case for why I think Jagex should be looking to overhaul OSRS free-to-play, and what changes could be made, and why. Following a recent community poll, I really wanted to expand on the idea of should Jagex be doing more with free-to-play. A lot of you left some good ideas and reasons for and against, so I thought I'd lay out what I think would make free-to-play a better place. Free-to-play games dominate the games industry. For example, right now there are about 3 million people playing Fortnite, compared to around 130,000 people playing OSRS. 3 million is insanely big for a game like OSRS, so I'm not expecting that the team could generate that kind of player base. However, I do remember the days when the free-to-play worlds were chock full of people. Over time, they have added more worlds, and don't get me wrong, overcrowding is bad. But in my experience, on an average day, I've seen free-to-play worlds with as low as 50 people on them. This number is too low to properly experience the game and generate the kind of memories I have from the livelier days of the past. Based on this, I think free-to-play is long overdue a bit of an overhaul in order to attract new players and get those worlds buzzing once again. My theory is that the more people you can get into the game and enjoy playing it, the more people you will move across to members. More members, and more money being the end goal. I mean, as an OSRS YouTuber, I have a vested interest in the game too, so more players and a more profitable game should mean that the team can develop more pay-to-play content like the new sailing skill, which looks awesome by the way, and a healthy player base and profit margin should keep the game running for the long term. Full disclosure by the way, I play both free-to-play and pay-to-play, so in no way is this a let's just add more content so I don't have to pay kind of video. If you look at free-to-play in general, you can see that the game is geared towards a base level of 40. The items and equipment are also reflective of this rough level cap. To reinvigorate things straight off the bat, I think it would be worthwhile increasing this guideline to a base level of 50. Obviously the economy and balance will need to be looked at, but the idea is to allow a lot more of the low to mid-tier items into the free-to-play game. In terms of new skills, the only skill I think should 100% be introduced to free-to-play is fletching. I'll talk more about this in the next section, but this is to build into my proposed improvements to the ranged skill and give more options. Plus, if you look at the way the skills are set, rune crafting can be used to make runes for magic, smithing can make swords for melee, but ranged is the odd one out. Adding fletching would address this mismatch. Straight away my mind jumps to the lack of magic equipment in free-to-play. In terms of getting a taste for magic, I don't think free-to-play offers much. I'll be looking to remedy this by giving free-to-play the split bark armor along with the swamp bark upgrade for it. I mentioned earlier about adding the fletching skill in, and this is because I'd also be looking to add crossbows up to steel or maybe myth. Equally, I'd be up for allowing free-to-play players to fletch up to steel or myth arrows and bolts, so the relevant smithing options would need to be added too. Like magic, I feel these additions will just add a bit more flavour to free-to-play and allow a bit more of that membership experience. Lastly, I would look at jewellery for crafting and enchanting. I wouldn't add the members' gems into the mix, but I think I would add the full suite of jewellery up to diamond and allow free-to-play to enchant them too. I'm open to suggestions on if adding bracelets would make much difference. Not a big deal, but would be a nice to have. I'd also look at if allowing rings of forging to be enchanted in free-to-play would be game-breaking. If possible, I'd like to allow these too. There's also a ton of basic items that could and should be backfilled into free-to-play, things like crafting studded leather, etc, etc. Please like the video and support my content. Thank you, noble knight. Based on the past two parts of my proposal, I think it would make sense to expand the free-to-play borders. Initially, I'd be looking to open up the Caridian Desert up to as far south as the Bandit Camp and Polnavich. I have no idea if that's the correct pronunciation. And east as far as the river. Plus some of Mauritania, Entrana and possibly Fossil Island. These additions will help with adding some additional quests as well as giving access to teak logs for the steel crossbows. This is probably the part of the plan I would be most worried about. I think the boundary needs expanding, but too much and members will get annoyed, too little and some of the items and skills added to the game won't be practically attainable. I don't want the result of this update to just be an expanded GE items list for free-to-play. Currently, free-to-play has two bosses, and while I'd probably block some of the rare drops, I would be looking to add the Chaos Fanatic, Chaos Archaeologist and Scorpia into the wilderness. I'd also be willing to entertain adding dragons back to free-to-play. And while I'm at it, I'll probably throw in the giant mole for good measure too. I'm open to suggestions here, but I think another 2 to 3 lowish tier bosses would represent a big gameplay improvement. Finally, free-to-play needs a few new quests, I would say in the region of 5 to 10 more. Currently there are 22 free-to-play quests and 134 pay-to-play quests. Many of the low-level pay-to-play quests are extremely basic and could be easily ported to free-to-play. The quests I would initially target are Gertrude's Cat, yes, adding cats to free-to-play, Witch's House, the Tourist Trap, limiting the reward here to fletching or smithing, Priest in Peril, Haunted Mine, A Soul's Bane, Rag and Bone Man 1, and finally the Lost City. I need to investigate these in a lot more depth, but having a quick run through of the requirements and rewards, they are all doable with free-to-play skills and offer XP rewards for those skills too. In conclusion, I would justify these changes by saying the more you can get someone invested in the game, the more likely it is they will want to pay for it and subscribe. Equally, while a lot of members would complain about free-to-play being expanded, the content I'm targeting is so low level and basic, most members play through these bits once and never return. In a way, these low level areas of the game are largely abandoned. So of course, cater for your hardcore players and fans, but the content is there, so why not use it to try and entice some new blood? And if it works, the game generates more money. Hopefully that in turn should lead to more money and motivation for the dev team to make the pay-to-play side of the game even better. Disclaimer here, I'm not criticising the dev team at OSRS, I think they do a really good job, and I'm aware that they are not necessarily given the full budget from Jagex. Clearly these suggested changes would require a lot of time and effort to get right. Bots and abuse would need to be seriously considered, as I'm sure some of these changes in combination with player ingenuity have the potential to create some game-breaking techniques or exploits that would spoil the economy. Though just because something is difficult doesn't mean it shouldn't be done. And in my view, the longer free-to-play is left as it is, basically the same as it's been for the last 20 years, the more money is left on the table by Jagex. And that brings us to the end of this video. What do you think of my proposed changes? Are you for or against my ideas? What changes would you make and why? Please leave a comment and let me know. All that's left for me to say is I've been the Lumbridge Knight, peace out and thanks for watching.